Good afternoon, everyone. This is a update on the tropics for October 31st, 2022. We now have Tropical Storm Lisa now just south of Jamaica. This is actually forecast to become a hurricane before it makes landfall in Belize later this week. So as we get right into it here, this is the satellite imagery that we are looking at, and there's Tropical Storm Lisa down here again south of Jamaica. We have gotten a lot of convection on the southern side, and now some more convection popping up on the northern side, just thunderstorm activity, and this is going to further protect the center from any wind shear that's going to be trying to sneak in there and possibly weaken it down before it strengthens too much into a hurricane. But again, that National Hurricane Center, when they did issue that potential tropical cyclone, they were forecasting it to become a hurricane. It is still forecast to become a hurricane, but literally right before landfall. So let's go look at the National Hurricane Center, which, as you can see, there's Tropical Storm Lisa, which currently has winds of 45 miles per hour, a central pressure of 1,002 millibars, and this is also moving west at 14 miles per hour. And we can also look at that forecast cone. As you can see, Jamaica, the entire country of Jamaica is under a tropical storm watch right now. So possibly some tropical storm force wind gusts throughout today, but nothing really too serious. Definitely will feel those winds kicking up throughout today in Jamaica. As you can see, the Cayman Islands should be fine. They really shouldn't be feeling many impacts at all. This will be staying a tropical storm for a bit here until about 8 a.m. Wednesday. Possibly we could see a little bit of rapid intensification, which may lead to that Category 1 hurricane status by 8 p.m. Wednesday, right before landfall in Belize. And then we could possibly see those tropical storm wind impacts in Guatemala around 8 a.m. Thursday. Now, here's some of those tropical storm force wind speed probabilities. This will increase over time. As you can see right now, Belize is expecting around a 50 to 60% chance for those tropical storm force winds. Northern side of Guatemala will be seeing around a 30 to 50% chance to see those tropical storm force winds. In more of those dark greens, you have a very low chance of seeing those tropical storm force winds right now, but you definitely need to be on the lookout here as this approaches this area. And here is key messages from the National Hurricane Center. Tropical storm conditions are possible on Jamaica today. So the entirety of today, Jamaica will be seeing tropical storm conditions. Now, number 2, interest along the coast of Central America, especially near Belize and the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, should monitor the progress of the system. Additional watches and warnings likely will be required by late today. So we will likely see tropical storm watches, maybe even a hurricane watch for the Belize area, Yucatan Peninsula, and also Honduras as well. We will probably give you those updates in the community tab in the YouTube channel. Again, according for the National Hurricane Center forecast cone, this will be making landfall in Belize about 8 p.m. Wednesday with possible hurricane conditions that will lead to flooding, mudslides, hurricane force winds. So that will be even up to 75 mile per hour winds, which definitely could be dangerous, causing damage in such for structural power lines. Also trees could definitely be damaged by those strong winds as that makes landfall in Belize. Looking at the dry air values, this is where it's currently at. It's definitely not in dry air right now, but we do have some slightly dry air here just off the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula. And as we look at the wind shear, as you can see right now, it is in favorable wind shear. We have a lot of wind shear that's keeping this strengthening, but again, as it goes here towards Belize, it is going to be entering a little bit of unfavorable wind shear. Not terrible unfavorable wind shear, but we are seeing 25 knots, even 30 knots, which definitely may stall its wind speeds a bit here. If we got like 50 knots wind shear, that will definitely tear it apart before landfall. But we're only seeing around 25 to 30 knots of wind shear, which isn't that bad for its circulation. Definitely already seeing a lot of that lightning in the southern portions of these thunderstorms. Once we see a lot more lightning towards the center, that means it's possibly undergoing rapid intensification, and that's what we might see later on. It depends on the wind shear though, If there's more wind shear, we likely may not see rapid intensification before landfall. If there's over 30 knots of wind shear, we probably won't be seeing rapid intensification. That means we probably won't see that hurricane status before landfall, which means it might stay as a tropical storm throughout the duration of its lifetime. Here's a lot of the rainfall from the GFS model here. Let's go to move over here. Here's the GFS model, total accumulated precipitation, so rainfall here in Belize, Yucatan Peninsula, and also Guatemala. A lot of these kind of pastel pinkish colors going to the darker pastel pinks, even getting into some of those reds. You're talking about 4 to 5, even 6 inches of rainfall here throughout portions of this general area. And this includes Belize, the northeastern tip there of Guatemala. For these blues, possibly 1 to 2 inches of rainfall, not that bad, but definitely some of these areas could definitely see quite the amount of rainfall, which would lead to mudslides and also flooding here in this area, Belize, going into Guatemala. Honduras might miss a bullet, or this could be heading southward here, which might lead to more impacts for the Bay Area of the northern portion of Honduras. Honduras right now is not going to see many impacts at all. You're mainly going to see a little bit of rainfall, maybe up to 1 to 1.5 inches of rainfall. We will continue to keep you updated with Tropical Storm Lisa. We did give you some of those details on impacts for Belize. Generally, we don't have a lot of details from the National Hurricane Center regarding impacts for Central America and Mexico. So I will try to keep you updated as much as possible here in Central America, Belize, Guatemala, Honduras, and also the Yucatan Peninsula. So stay tuned, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and you won't miss a single update or live stream once I post every day at around 2 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Like the video and share this with friends and family that do live in this area that might be impacted by Tropical Storm Lisa. But as always, I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe.